According to some chart analysts and those that study the XRP charts, XRP is about to have an explosive move to the upside. So I'm going to tell you about why they actually think this and which analysis tools on the charts are they actually using to predict this. Some of this has to do with what happened to XRP back in 2017, where in a period of 24 days, XRP went from 17 cents to $3.84. So I'm going to talk about some of the analysis, what they're saying, some of the time frames about what they're saying, how Ripple fits into all this, and if some of this is just hopium or if some of these price predictions actually make sense. I'm also going to be talking about Sologenic in this video because right now the price of Sologenic is really starting to climb. It's up almost 15% in the last 7 days. And not only that, I have some information about the airdrops that are happening for those who hold Sologenic tokens. I'm talking about the Corium airdrops that are happening on a monthly basis. So if you have Solo tokens and you're looking for those airdrops, I have some information in this video. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now on this channel, we are covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, but I'm also covering cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any of those topics interest you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the Late Night Grind community. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification icon, and if you are feeling generous, I'd appreciate it if you go ahead and smash the thumbs up button and watch the video all the way to the end. Those are the two best things you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. And as a brief reminder, I wanted to let you know that if you haven't seen it already, I have released my Patreon account. So I'll put a link in the description below. You can go ahead and join my Patreon community, as I'm now going to be posting some money-making videos and deep dives in cryptocurrencies on things like trading, staking, yield farming, risk-reward opportunities. So if you want to check that out, link's in the description below. Can't wait to have you. All right, guys, let's jump into it. So first, let's talk about XRP and the price speculation that some of these analysts and some of these chart analysts are now speculating that XRP is about to hit any day now. And when they say any day, they don't necessarily mean any day. They're more or less talking about the next month or two. Now, why is that? Well, now there's a couple of things that we have to take a look at, one of which has to do with what happened in 2017. So in 2017, there was a point where XRP was 17 cents, and 24 days later, it was over $3.80. And during that time frame was actually one of the first times that I actually bought a cryptocurrency. I actually bought a little bit of Bitcoin and some XRP during that time frame. And of course, as Bitcoin had its major run-up in 2017, XRP and a bunch of others followed suit. So what happened over the next couple of years? Well, as Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market kind of fell into that bear market, or that crypto winter as it's called, it was a great time to actually consolidate and build up your crypto holdings. At least that's what I wish I would have done. Because obviously we had in 2020, late 2020, Bitcoin had its big run up. And what happened on December 22nd, 2020? Well, that was the date that the SEC dropped the lawsuit against Ripple. And that's an important time frame because here's what we're looking at now. Starting on December 29th, 2020, that was actually a low point for XRP in which marked the bottom of what's called a regression channel. This regression channel is basically an upward moving trend line. And as XRP has been moving along in the last couple of years, it's done a couple of wild swings all the way up to $1.96 and then all the way back down into the 50-cent range. But each time it's bumped along that bottom trend line, that bottom regression trend line. And it's going up a little bit, come back, going up, come back. And some of it has to do with its correlation to Bitcoin, and some of it has to do with the movements on its own. So what are people now saying about XRP, and why are they saying it looks like a $12 to $14 price point that is going to be coming up soon? Why are they expecting such a massive, explosive rally? I'm not even talking about Ripple winning the case versus the SEC, although that's an extremely important part of it, and there is some potential that these two timeframes could correlate together, which could result in some explosive moves. Okay, so for number one, the Fibonacci retracement levels point to a $10 to $14 XRP if you follow the Fibonacci level system, which I do watch several analysts that follow that model. There's others that follow the regression channel model, which more it has to do with trends and more has to do with XRP or Bitcoin or whatever crypto you're tracking, following this essentially a channel where it goes up, meets a peak, comes down, hits a bottom, goes up, meets another higher peak, comes down, meets a higher bottom, and so forth. And so this is somewhat predictable, and it's kind of crazy when you draw some of these lines and match them with a Fibonacci retracement level, how accurate these lines actually match up. So some of these analysts are saying, listen, the next time that XRP bounces off that bottom of the regression channel is when it's going to hit its explosive move, because traders follow this, investors follow this. And not only are they looking for moves off of trend lines like this, they're looking for news, which is why I said Ripple winning against the SEC during that certain time frame could be a catalyst to an explosive move for XRP, because obviously XRP would get their regulatory clarity, and regulatory clarity is big for what? It's big for banks and institutional usage. In fact, regulatory clarity is everything in the banking sector, especially in the United States. Now, Ripple's doing amazing things internationally. They're doing amazing things setting up payment corridors all over the world. They're in 55 different countries now. The ODL, the on-demand liquidity system, is setting new records, it seems like every month now. The usage is going through the roof, but it doesn't really affect the price of XRP, at least not yet. Not until XRP gets its regulatory clarity is when you're going to see major banks and institutional usage of the on-demand liquidity system and of the cross-border payment systems once that happens. And that is why XRP holders are following this case so closely. So watching these analysts, several of them that I watch have now pointed out that once it bounces off this regression channel and actually starts its upward move through the retracement levels, it looks like it's a $10 to $14 XRP price target. Now, there are some that believe that there's still another explosive move on top of that, in which they're talking $200 to $300. I'm not exactly sure if I'm buying into that, but right now what I'm looking at is a regression channel trend line that XRP is about ready to hit. So there's a couple of things you're going to want to pay attention to. Number one is Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing? Because obviously XRP is still somewhat correlated to that, and some of these trend lines have to do with what Bitcoin's doing. Now, obviously not all of it, but it's still a very important one to follow. Next one, of course, is these XRP charts. Watch this regression channel line. Is XRP bumping as XRP gets closer to that bottom of the regression channel line and everybody expects an upward movement? Is that upward movement actually going to happen? Is there going to be some bad news coming out of the Ripple case? Is there going to be some good news? All that remains to be seen. And of course, the other thing to watch is the SEC versus Ripple case, because, like I said, regulatory clarity means everything for banks and institutional usage for something like XRP, which is brand new to that fiat sector. So yeah, if you want to talk hopium, well, let's hope that Ripple beats the SEC and gets regulatory clarity for XRP in the same time frame as which XRP bumps up against the bottom of that regression level, and we all say a parabolic move upwards. That would be the hopium. Is that going to happen? Well, that remains to be seen, but from what I've been seeing, some of these whales, some of these huge XRP purchases, a lot of people are placing their bets with XRP right now. So now let's get into another cryptocurrency that is actually on the way up, and that one is Sologenic. The token Solo has been climbing. It's up about 15% in the last 6 to 7 days. The volume is up big. This is one thing that I've been paying attention to, because as I saw the price starting to move up, I noticed that all of a sudden the volume went to its levels back when it did back in December, pre-snapshot, when all of the XRP holders and Solo holders were getting a snapshot so they could get their share of the Sologenic airdrop. Well, they were doing about anywhere from $5 to $8 million a day in solo trading, and then it dipped down and obviously went way lower. So for the past couple of months, it's been anywhere from $700,000 to $1 million a day in solo trading, which is pretty low. But all of a sudden, it's now back to doing between $4 to $7 million a day in volume. There's a couple reasons for this. Number one, there are some more trading pairs that exchanges are actually setting up to trade with Solo, including with Bitcoin, with USDT, and a couple of others. Now, it depends which exchange you're actually looking at. The other thing, too, is that there's several exchanges now finally listing Solo and advertising it. And what I just saw earlier today was I got an email from Uphold, the exchange, everybody's favorite exchange to buy XRP in. That Uphold said they were going to be supporting the Sologenic airdrop. So if you held XRP on Uphold, you were going to be getting Solo. Well, it took several months and a whole bunch of complaining that I saw on Twitter. But Uphold finally released the Solo token. So I finally got my airdrop of Sologenic tokens to my Uphold account, and I saw some tweets at me earlier. Several other people that were following me said they finally got their airdrop as well. So why is the price of Solo going up if there's more airdrops happening and people are finally getting their Solo tokens? Well, if they're selling them, if they're anxious to sell them, usually that means there's selling pressure downward. Why is the price going up and going up so fast? Well, part of that other reason is because Solo holders are getting their own airdrop of core tokens. Corium, which is a new layer 1 blockchain that the Sologenic developers are actually building right now, they're doing airdrops on a monthly basis to Solo holders. So those core tokens have been being airdropped the past couple of months. Now, I did see a tweet several days ago that airdrop for March, it was supposed to happen at the end of March. Obviously, it was delayed for a little bit. However, April 4th is when they will start delivering the snapshot, is when they will start delivering the airdrop for February snapshot. So if you hold Solo tokens and you're expecting core tokens from your February holdings, you should be getting them starting on April 4th. It will obviously take several days to get them, but nonetheless, that's going to be happening. And in my opinion, that is another one of the reasons that Solo tokens are on the rise. People are starting to see this Corium project become a little more mainstream, a little more talked about in the cryptocurrency world, and by holding Solo tokens, you're going to get free core tokens. So in my opinion, it is becoming more valuable to hold Solo tokens, not just because there's an NFT marketplace, and not just because there's a new tokenized, and not just because they're working on tokenized security exchange, getting that ready for launch, but because they're actually getting core tokens, a new layer 1 blockchain that's going to be interoperable with everything. And right now, from what I can see in the news, in the crypto news, interoperability is some of the biggest factors of what investors are looking for when they're looking for new tokens. Because obviously they want to invest in something that's going to be used and drive demand. And when something that you're investing in can be used by pretty much any blockchain, well, you're setting yourself up for success. So we're going to see. So we're going to see what Corium actually does. They are several months away yet from their mainnet launch, which is slated for August. So if you want to follow along with that, along with any of these stories that I follow, make sure you subscribe to the Late Night Grind community. Also, like I said, you can join my Patreon community. I'm doing deeper dives into how to make money in cryptocurrencies, including trading, staking, yield farming, and doing some risk-reward analysis. So for a couple of bucks, you can go and check that out. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end, for smashing that thumbs up button. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.